Hi guys, welcome to It's a Piece of Cake, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really gorgeous simple quilt effect using these stamps here. So you can purchase these stamps off eBay. There's a lot of sellers that are selling them. They're under $3 and you can get lots of different. You can get the larger quilt one, the smaller one, round. So you could just play around, buy the stamp that you want, and then I've just went for this standard kind of just a small quilt one. And then once you've got your stamp, it's really simple to use. So you're going to have your cake, which you're going to cover with ganache, and you're going to firm the ganache, so leave it in the fridge overnight, and then immediately once you've covered it with the fondant, because you want your fondant to be soft, then you're going to start pressing in the stamp. So using the stamp is really simple. Some of the stamps that you buy, they're very hard once you press it in to connect them continuously without overlapping is really difficult. But this particular stamps, the way they've made them, they've got like a little butterfly or flower or a little kind of hole in the center where they're connected. It makes it really easy when you're going around the cake and just pressing it together, because those joins are really obvious when you're pressing the stamp through. So as you can see, I've got some finger marks because I was holding the back of the cake. So you're just going to smooth that out if you get to the back and you've got that, and you're just going to continue along and just keep pressing it in. The firmer you press the stamp, the more obvious your quilt design is going to be, but it's a little bit hard to press it really firm if you're just on your own. If someone's kind of holding the base of the cake for you, it's a lot easier. So you're just going to go around, and once you have finished the entire cake, then I'm going to show you how you can add some pearls onto the cake. So that was the end of doing it. It takes you only about 5 minutes to do the whole cake, and then I'm going to just smooth out the top if you've got any finger marks on the top as well. And then to add the pearls is really simple. All you're going to do is get a brush and water, and you're just going to run it across, and then you're just going to add the pearls. And the water, when the water dries out, it's pretty much a really strong glue when working with fondant. So while it's wet, you're just going to press in all those pearls to all the parts that connect, and you're just going to push them in and then let the pearls dry. And then once it's completely dry, the pearls won't fall down. You can use eatable glue if you want to, but I find that water works just as fine. So you're just going to go around, press all the pearls in, and then it's only going to take you about 10 minutes, but it gives a beautiful effect. You don't have to do the pearls if you don't want to, or you can do a contrasting color if you like as well. So that's a really easy way of making the quilt design using these stamps. And if you want to add a bit of pearl shimmer, just once your fondant is completely dry, so there's no bits of water left from the pearls, you want it to be fully dry, then you're just going to use a brush and you're going to pearl on, you're going to just dust on some pearl shimmer, and that just gives it a really beautiful silky look. I love if I do the quilt design, that when I use the pearl shimmer, just gives it the silky look. But it does change the colour, because it just goes more to like, instead of a brighter pink, it's gone out to more of a rustic kind of, a really dark kind of pink, rosy pink. So now to use these stamps to make cupcake toppers, there's two ways of doing it. So I'm using the larger stamp here, and I'm doing it on more of a thinner piece of fondant, and I'm not pressing it in that firm. So it's just going to give me a light imprint of the pattern. And then all you're going to do is use your cookie cutter and cut out the circles and let these dry overnight. So that's if you wanted something a bit more simple. If you want the quilt to be kind of really poking out, like more of a puffy look, you have to use it on a thick piece of fondant, and you're going to press it really firmly in there, and then that way it gives you like that puffy look. So we're going to leave these to dry. So this is a thicker piece of fondant, and I'm pressing the stamp really through, almost like you can see the fondant poking out through those little gaps, and that's when you get that really nice kind of puffy look. So press it all the way through, and you can see all that fondant kind of popping out. And once it pops out, that means you're going to have it more like a fluffy look. And you could do the same with the other cutters as well. So I've pressed that really firm now on a thicker piece of fondant, and then this is going to give me more of an obvious look onto them. And then you're going to cut these and leave these overnight to completely dry out, because when they're dry, you can just kind of put them on top of a cupcake, and it's really easy, because you can make these weeks in advance. So if you want to add the pearl, you're doing the exact same thing. And because I had really pressed it, the stamp really deep into the fondant, you can see it's got that really nice kind of you can see that like a 3D effect, and I love that. That's why I love these stamps. They're really easy to work with. So you're going to add the pearls on them if you want to, and that's if you want to do the pearls, or you don't have to. Let them dry overnight, and then once they've dried, they're nice and firm, and they're really easy just to pipe on some ganache or frosting on a cupcake, and you just stick one of these on top. So another way that you can also make the quilt cupcake toppers is just spray a little bit of non-stick cooking spray, and then use a smoother, and just use one of these impression mats, these quilt impression mats, and then just smooth it onto your fondant, and join the ends. So the ends you'll have a little bit of lines. Just use your fingers to neaten up those lines so it's not as obvious. And then use a ruler, and then you're going to you can either keep it that way if you're happy with it, but if you want the design to be a bit more more obvious and more sharper, then use a ruler and just go across and follow the lines. This ruler has bended over time, so it's not really a good ruler to use, but if you have a nice straight thin ruler, then you just go across one way and then repeat the same thing and go the other way, and then that will just give you the more obvious quilt look. This is if you don't have the stamp and you've got the impression mat, so it's pretty much the exact same thing, just takes a little bit longer to do. And then once you've went through it all, you can also add, once you've cut them out with the cupcake toppers, you can also add some pearl beads here, if you want to, but because it's still moist, so you don't need the water, the vegetable oil will kind of stick them in place. So cut them out, and you can add some pearl, like I said, on them, little pearl beads if you want to. So now you'd add them and let them dry overnight. So that's another way of making the quilt cupcake toppers. So if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope you guys tune in to my next video. So thanks so much guys for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.